Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Journalism and New Media Studies, SOJNMS. Master of Arts, Journalism and Digital Media, MAJDM. Second year, MNM30 Theorising Digital Media. Block 1 Communication Patterns of Digital Media. Unit-2 Mediatisation, 2.0 Introduction. You read about multi-platform communications in the last unit. Now, imagine your life without the media. While life without media might seem simpler in some aspects, it would mean missing out on day-to-day conveniences, global connectivity, and instant access to information. It would be like stepping back in time before the widespread use of technologies like television, radio, newspapers, and the internet. Without the media, we would not get information instantly. We must rely on word of mouth and personal experiences for information. News about distant events would be slower to reach us, and staying updated on global affairs might be challenging. Forget about binge watching our favorite movies and TV shows. Entertainment would be limited to local live performances. The idea of global celebrities in public figures might not exist as we know it today. The media gave great impetus to society's growth and development, influencing almost every sphere of human life. This ubiquitous influence led social scientists and communication experts to study this phenomenon, which they later defined as mediatization. Mediatization refers to the increasing influence of media on various aspects of society, including culture, politics, religion, and everyday life. It is not just about the expansion of media content or the spread of media technologies, it encompasses the broader impact of media on society and behavior and the perception of the people about the world. Livingston defines it as the meta process shaping everyday practices and social relations through mediating technologies and media organizations. Mediatization is considered one of the major social processes, along with globalization, individualization, and commercialization, that contributes to social, cultural, and communication changes. With the advent of digital technologies, the speed and impact of mediatization have increased manifold. According to Statista Consumer Insights Global, in India, daily media consumption reached 6.23 hours compared to the global average of 6.37 hours in 2023. Television and videos accounted for the highest media consumption share among the country's population in 2023, with digital media growing rapidly. There were 751.50 million internet users and 462.0 million social media users in India in January 2024. 2.1 Learning Outcomes. After completing this unit, you should be able to understand the meaning and characteristics of mediatization. Know about the growth and impact of mediatization on other institutions like society, culture, art, education, and politics. Identify the global changes and ongoing transformation due to mediatization. And compare the advantages and disadvantages of mediatization. 2.2 Understanding mediatization. Now, the question is why there is a need for a media studies student to know about such a term as mediatization. Before answering that, let us know about a few impacts of media technologies on our lives. From the time we get up from our beds to sleep, we use and depend on all sorts of media-supported gadgets, systems, and mechanisms. For example, we get our schedules and updates at the click of a button. We conduct virtual meetings with colleagues and make phone calls to stay in touch with friends and family who are not physically present. We socialize via social media sites even while working. We shop, trade, and study on business, commerce, and education sites. We complete our work more efficiently and conveniently with facilities like governance, online education portals, virtual workspaces, and online banking. Even for entertainment and sports, we can have videos on demand, virtual reality games, VR, and augmented reality, AR, games on our TVs and mobile phones. These are some real-life examples of a mediapolis. This media-saturated society highlights the transformational impact of media on various aspects of society, including social, cultural, and individual experiences. As an invisible and powerful agent, media uses, appropriates, and penetrates all aspects of contemporary life, creating mediatization that underpins everyday experiences. It has even modified our sense of identity and reality. Mark Dewes rightly assessed this impact by saying, "Our life is lived in media rather than with media." This impact of mediatization is so profound that it cannot be left unstudied, and as media studies students, we must understand its impact in totality. Mediatization can be analyzed at three levels: micro, meso, and macro levels. Micro level, it is media's interaction at the individual level, personal media usage. And within a given institution, i.e., communication between family members via mobile phones. Meso level, it is interaction at the institutional level through telecommunications. Media that allow one to work from home. Macro level, it is media interaction at the societal level, events of importance to the community at state, national, and global levels, be they festive, threatening, or tragic. 2.2.1 Change in human communication by means of media. There is no denying that the landscape of human communication has evolved due to the invention of different media technologies. Thomson has given three distinctions to capture this evolution of communication succinctly. 1. Face-to-face interaction involve both verbal and non-verbal expressions. 2. Mediated quasi-interaction, as in newspapers, TV, radio, addresses in unspecified audience. 3. Mediated interaction, telephone conversations, allows identified individuals to interact on an equal footing. However, these traditional categorizations and interactions have diminished with the arrival of new digital technologies, such as SMS, email, video calling, and online streaming. The lines between mass and interpersonal communication have blurred, allowing for more dynamic and participatory exchanges. Let us glance over the historical growth of mediatization, closely tied to key technological inventions and innovations in the media field. Pre-writing era, the period of oral tradition followed by rich oral traditions and cultural narrative. Printing press, 1440s, Johannes Gutenberg's invention of the printing press was the first revolution in the evolution of the media. Its revolution is the production of books. This invention played a crucial role in the dissemination of knowledge, the rise of literacy, and the standardization of languages, marking an early form of mediatization. It snatched away the authority of religion from the hands of the church and put it in the domain of the common public by printing copies of the Bible then. Telegraph, 1830s to 40s, the invention of the telegraph enabled near instantaneous long-distance communication, laying the groundwork for the mediatization of information across regions. Photography, 1839, Louis Daguerre and William Henry Fox Talbot invented photography, which added a visual dimension to news reporting. Phonograph, 1877, Thomas Edison's phonograph invention introduced the capability to record and reproduce sound, a significant development in the mediatization of music and oral communication. Radio, 1890s to 1920s, Guglielmo Marconi's work on wireless telegraphy and subsequent developments by others led to the invention of radio. The introduction of radio revolution is music accessibility, news, and cultural dissemination. Television, 1920s to 1930s, television technology evolved from mechanical systems to electronic broadcasting. It transformed entertainment, influenced public opinion, and introduced visual storytelling. Internet, 1960s to 1980s, the development of the ARPANET in the 1960s laid the foundation for the modern Internet, which, over subsequent decades, revolution is communication, information dissemination, and how people access and share media content. World Wide Web, 1990s, the creation of the World Wide Web by Tim Berners-Lee in the early 1990s significantly impacted how information was shared, leading to the rise of online media, global connectivity, democratization of information and digital culture. Mobile phones, 1980s to 1990s, the proliferation of mobile phones in the late 20th century and their subsequent evolution into smartphones transformed communication. Mobile devices became a primary platform for accessing digital media content. It increased accessibility, changed social dynamics, and transformed personal relationships. Social media, 2000s, the emergence of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram revolution is online interaction. These platforms enabled user-generated content, real-time sharing, and the rapid dissemination of information, contributing to the mediatization of social life. It altered communication patterns, facilitated global connections, and transformed activism and social movements. Streaming services, 2000s to 2010s, the rise of streaming services in the 21st century, such as Netflix and YouTube, disrupted traditional media consumption patterns. On-demand access to video content transformed the entertainment industry and altered viewing habits globally. The historical timeline that each technological advancement has contributed to the expansion of media's influence on communication, culture, and society. 2.2.2 Difference between mediation and mediatization. There was much debate initially over terminology, exploring whether it should be termed mediatization, mediation, medicalization, or mediation. Many scholars preferred and used mediation, like how mediatization is used now. Both terms were used interchangeably. However, clarity emerged over time. Now, each term has separate and distinct meanings. Mediatization gained prominence in political research in the late 1990s when John B. Thompson introduced the idea of the mediatization of culture. Swedish Professor Kent Asp was the first to develop the concept of mediatization as a coherent theory and used it to study the mediatization of politics. Since then, European academics, particularly in Germany, Great Britain, Norway, and Denmark, have been actively engaged in conceptual, theoretical, and empirical research on mediatization. Mediation refers to conveying, transmitting, or interpreting information or messages between sender and receiver. It involves the presence of an intermediary or mediator, or a medium which facilitates communication. On the other hand, mediatization is a more long-lasting process of changing social and cultural institutions due to increased media influence. The term is used to characterize changes in social, cultural, and political practices, cultures, and institutions in media-saturated societies, thus denoting transformations of these societies themselves. Aga defines mediation as the essential concept in social life whenever individuals are connected through speech or signs in communication. It involves material vehicles, like telephone lines, email, or video conferencing facilitating communication, and mediatization encompasses long-term structural transformations resulting from ongoing mediated communication. It goes beyond individual acts of mediation and leads to sociocultural changes. Mediatization involves processes like remediation, where each act of mediation builds upon others. There are two types of mediation. Direct mediatization involves transforming non-mediated activities into mediated forms. For example, it involves transitioning games like physical chess boards and Ludo to online chess and Ludo games or online banking. Indirect mediatization, it influences activities through mediagenic symbols or mechanisms. An example is the merchandising industry around pizza and burger restaurants in a shopping mall, where the experience includes exposure to mediagenic symbols like cartoon mascots and cosplayers like Wonder Woman, DC Comics Universe, and supervillain Loki, Marvel Comics Universe. This has a direct influence on the sale of toys. Game On with the Legends, cosplayers in a mall in Chennai source New Indian Express January 24, 2024. 2.2.3 Media Logic. Understanding media logic is crucial when examining the process of mediatization. But before understanding media logic, we should first see media from the perspective of an institution. Media is independent institution. Mediatization implies that media not only play a role in their own determination, but have become independent institutions. They intervene in and influence the activities of other institutions while providing shared communication for a society. This evolution from being instruments to independent entities involves changes in rules, resource allocations, and the professionalization of media practices. Javed, 2008. Historical transformation of media institutions, 1920s to 1980s, media was an instrument in the hands of other institutions like science, politics, religion, and commerce. It primarily served the specific interests of the institutions, e.g., the political party press, and was an instrument rather than an independent entity. 1980s present, structural changes, deregulation, and technological advancements led to a more commercial and competitive media climate. Media evolved from cultural institutions to more market-oriented entities, focusing on audience preferences. Media has become increasingly intertwined with various aspects of society and plays a significant role in shaping public discourse, influencing cultural norms, and impacting how individuals perceive and interpret information. It has a logic that other social institutions must accommodate to get a larger audience, as more and more of their activities are performed through the media. Now, actors of other institutions like politicians, opinion makers, corporate honchos, civil society leaders, and others have no choice but to adapt their communication methods to a form that suits the logic and preferences of the media to exist in business. However, the extent to which media logic helps and affects these institutions depends on the mutual interaction of the institutions and society. Althide and Snow contributed a lot to the media logic theory. According to them, media logic refers to the distinctive ways in which media organizations and their content shape the presentation of information and influence the thinking and behavior of individuals and society. The modus operandi of media logic plays out at three levels: the institutional, technological, and content presentation levels. Let us discuss the key aspects of media logic. Simplification and dramatization involve condensing information and framing stories to capture attention. Personalization, by focusing on individuals or specific cases, media can make information more relatable and emotionally compelling for audiences. Visual orientation, media logic prioritizes images, videos, and graphics to convey information. Fragmentation, in the era of 24-hour news cycles, media logic prefers fragmentation of information. News stories are often presented in shorter, easily digestible segments and lack depth, speed, and immediacy. The demand for breaking news and real-time updates is a key aspect of media logic. Prioritizing getting information out quickly sometimes leads to misinformation. Entertainment value. Media logic recognizes the entertainment value of content. Stories have to be engaging and entertaining to retain the audience's attention. Interactivity. Social media platforms, for example, allow users to engage with and contribute to content, blurring the lines between media producers and consumers. Commercial interests often drive media logic. The need to attract advertisers and maintain profitability can influence the selection and presentation of content, leading to a focus on content that is likely to generate higher TRPs, ratings, or clicks. 2.3 Definitions of Mediatization. This section provides an overview of the diverse definitions of mediatization proposed by various authors and scholars in communication, sociology, and cultural studies. Most definitions acknowledge the significance of dimensions like time, technology, and theory. While not all definitions can be easily categorized within one of these three perspectives, most can be associated with either, with the primary dimension appearing to be the most decisive. 2.3.1 Definitions based on time. Mediatization is a complex and multifaceted concept, and various scholars have emphasized its temporal dimension. Friedrich Krotz, a German communication scholar, has contributed significantly to mediatization. He emphasizes the temporal aspect by conceptualizing mediatization as a long-term process. According to Krotz, mediatization involves reorganizing social and cultural practices over extended periods, gradually integrating media into various aspects of society. Krotz's approach highlights the historical and evolving nature of mediatization. Stig Jarwood, a Danish media scholar, has also explored mediatization with a focus on time. He suggests that mediatization is a historical process characterized by a long-term transformation in which media become more influential and intertwined with different social spheres. Jarwood's perspective underscores the idea that Mediatization is not an instantaneous occurrence but a gradual development that unfolds over time. Norwegian media scholar Nert Lindby has contributed to the development of mediatization theory. His approach acknowledges the temporal dimension by examining the historical trajectory of media influence. Lindby suggests that mediatization involves a long-term restructuring of communication patterns and practices, emphasizing the evolutionary nature of media's impact on society. All these scholars stress that mediatization is a dynamic and historical process involving media integration and societal transformation over extended periods. 2.3.2 Definitions based on technology. While prioritizing technology in the definitions of mediatization may not be as common as emphasizing other dimensions, some scholars have highlighted the role of technology in shaping the concept. They believe mediatization primarily develops in modern, industrialized, and Western societies. Globalization and mediatization are interconnected, relying on the technical means provided by media, and further propelling the process of mediatization in new contexts. Andreas Hepp, a German communication scholar, emphasized technology's central role. He argues that mediatization is closely tied to technological advancements and changes in media infrastructure. According to Hepp, the transformation of communication practices is intricately linked to developing and deploying new media technologies. Stig Jarward, in addition to his emphasis on time, as mentioned earlier, also acknowledges the significance of technology in mediatization. He suggests that the process involves the historical evolution of media influence and the technological changes that enable and shape these transformations. Jarward's perspective underscores the interplay between technology and the mediatization process. It's important to note that while these scholars prioritize the technology dimension in their discussions of mediatization, they also recognize technology's interconnected nature with other dimensions, such as time and theory. 2.3.3 Definitions based on theory. Definitions of mediatization, primarily within the theoretical dimension, suggest that mediatization research is currently more focused on theoretical foundations than empirical applications. This inclination applies to definitions based on time in technology as well. Many scholars focusing on theory also present studies of mediatization in various domains such as politics, state strategies, public bureaucracy, corporations, law, sports, and popular culture to show concrete evidence. Most of these definitions have a theoretical foundation that considers media logic as a driving force in mediatization. For instance, Stromback and Esser, European scholars, concentrate on the mediatization of politics, defining it as a long-term process where the media's importance and spillover effects on political processes increase. They emphasize the dynamic relationship between political logic and media logic. Jarward, too, understands media logic as the modus operandi in mediatization processes. Nick Kudry, a British sociologist, works incorporates critical theoretical perspectives on power dynamics, social structures, and the implications of mediatization on democracy. Some authors used cultural domains and referred to concepts like logic of practice from Bourdieu's sociology. Others, like Cornelius and Kudry, canter their theoretical approaches on social interaction, communication practices, and symbolic interaction, emphasizing the interrelation between changes in media, communication, culture, and society. While there may not be a single universally agreed upon definition of mediatization, scholars often incorporate theoretical perspectives into their discussions. 2.4 Characteristics of mediatization. Let us discuss the key characteristics of mediatization. The pervasiveness of media influence. Media, accessible from virtually anywhere, shapes news, entertainment, and social interactions. Integration into everyday life. Media seamlessly blends into daily life, blurring public and private boundaries. The interconnectedness of media and social institutions. Media is intrinsic to institutions like education, politics, religion, and the economy, influencing public opinion and discourse. Shaping cultural practices and norms. Media constructs cultural practices, values, and norms, forming shared meanings and influencing understanding. Identity construction. Media significantly shapes individual and collective identities. impacting perceptions of gender, race, and sexuality. Mediatization of social interaction, platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter centralize communication, information sharing, and opinion formation. Media influence on public opinion. Media coverage sways public opinion, impacting perceptions of people, issues, or products. Technological determinism. Mediatization considers the impact of media technologies, such as digital media and AI, on social and cultural change. Media logic. The concept involves distinctive characteristics of media systems, shaping information presentation, consumption, and dynamics. Temporal and spatial changes. Mediatization explores how media alters perceptions of time and space, affecting information dissemination and breaking geographical barriers. Globalization of media. Mediatization acknowledges the global dissemination of information, transcending national and cultural boundaries. Commercial interest. Mediatization influences advertising, journalism, and entertainment, disrupting traditional models with platforms like YouTube and free ad-supported streaming TV, fast. 2.5 Modes of mediatization. Modes of mediatization encompass different ways in which media integration occurs. Key modes include technological mediatization, examines the impact of tech advancements on media, transforming information consumption. Examples: TikTok, video on demand, VOD, OTT platforms. Cultural mediatization explores how media shapes cultural practices, identities, and narratives. Political mediatization focuses on the media's role in political processes, communication, and opinion formation. Examples: election campaigns and political movements to make separate states like Telangana, Jharkhand, and Chhattisgarh. Economic mediatization studies media's economic impact on markets, advertising, and business models. Examples: online advertising and e-commerce platforms like OLX. Social mediatization explores the media's influence on social interactions, relationships, and community dynamics. Examples include social media activism and public movements. Institutional mediatization examines media integration into institutions like education and healthcare. An example is the use of online platforms for education. Temporal mediatization explores media's influence on temporal structures, providing real-time access to news and information. These modes are interconnected, offering a multifaceted understanding of how media permeates contemporary life. 2.5.1 Digitization. Digitization profoundly impacts mediatization, transforming media consumption, production, and distribution. Increased access, online streaming and digital news platforms provide instant, global access to diverse content. Convergence of media platforms. Digitization merges text, audio, and video into a single digital format, enabling multimedia storytelling. User-generated content. Platforms like YouTube and TikTok empower users to create and share content, influencing trends. Personalization and targeting. Digital tech enable personalized content delivery based on user preferences, as seen in streaming service algorithms. Interactivity and engagement. Digitization fosters interactive experiences through comments, likes, and social media interactions during live events. Data analytics. Digital platforms leverage data analytics for insights into audience preferences, trends, and consumption patterns. Shift in advertising models. Digitization transforms advertising with targeted ads and sponsored content online. Challenges to traditional media. Digitization challenges traditional media outlets, impacting revenue models and distribution channels. Real-time communication. Digitization facilitates instant communication and real-time news updates. Global connectivity. Digitization enhances global connectivity, fostering cultural exchange on a global scale. In summary, digitization accelerates and amplifies the mediatization process. 2.5.2 Networked, scopic media. Digitization enables networked, scopic media, a visualized network for simultaneous meaning making and interpretation. This reflexive mechanism collects and focuses activities on a single surface, reducing the centrality of face-to-face interactions. Scopic is derived from the Greek term scope, meaning to see. Scopic media refers to mechanisms of observation and projection It is a great boon for complex work at large networks. It creates synthetic situations where everyday activities migrate to the internet, reducing the centrality of face-to-face interactions. Characteristics of scopic media. Synthetic situations. Transforms face-to-face situations without physical presence. Visualization of remote events. Presents content sequentially, streaming remotely. Shifting and narrowing physical boundaries. Creates parallel realities. Expansion of agency through algorithms. Benefits. New global coordination for massive work. Enhances trust through transparency, making information visible globally. Example, in share market offices, networked, scopic, media streamlines coordination, communication, and decision making. Large screens, Bloomberg terminals, and video walls present real-time data, enhancing efficiency. Interactive technologies and algorithms offer a visually immersive environment, enabling traders to observe, analyze, and coordinate in real time. 2.6 Impact of mediatization. Mediatization impact. Increased social media influence. Expansion of digital storefronts. Influence on public opinion and trends. Social media shapes fashion and political decisions. Transformation of news consumption. 24/7 news cycles on online platforms influence public perception. Advertising and consumer choices. Media shapes consumer culture, promoting products and influencing purchases. Evolution of political communication. More options and ease in reaching the public. Boom in the entertainment industry. Mobile phones bring entertainment to our fingertips. Enhancement of educational tools. E-learning platforms and apps have become integral to modern education. Versatile workplace communication. Digital tools revolutionize remote collaboration, virtual meetings, and instant messaging. Amplification of celebrity culture. Media turns individuals into global icons, influencing trends and causes. Role in crises and social movements. Real-time reporting mobilizers. Support during crises and protests. Personal branding through media platforms. Individuals showcase expertise and experiences on various platforms. 2.7 Mediatized areas. 2.7.1 Society. Media profoundly impacts society, altering how individuals and communities perceive and engage with the world. It creates loose couplings in social spaces and destabilized local, national, and global links. Media-mediated interactions reshape communication dynamics and social norms. One such norm is the open posting of ridicule and gossip on social platforms. It links traditional face-to-face norms and establishes a virtual stage for interaction. This mediatization extends to cultural transmission globally. An impact seen in the worldwide reach of Shah Rukh's films and global music and fashion influences. Social media and dating apps further contribute to the mediatization of society, shaping romantic expectations. Examples of mediatization include social movements like the Arab Spring and the Black Lives Matter movement, crisis communication during emergencies like COVID-19, and the influence of celebrity influences. 2.7.2 Politics. Political campaigns during elections are a great example of mediatization in politics. Political campaigns increasingly rely on media platforms to reach voters. Social media, televised debates, and online advertising have become central to political communication. Political leaders also use media and social media platforms to influence public discourse and transform public opinion. Agnipath Scheme 2022, for recruiting soldiers below the rank of commissioned officers into the three services of the Indian Armed Forces and One Nation, One Election, to synchronize elections for the Lok Sabha and all state assemblies, are examples of such political rhetoric. Even all social revolution and independence movements have political communication driven by mediatization. 2.7.3 Law and Public Policy. Mediatization significantly impacts law and policy making, shaping public awareness and advocacy through coverage of issues like the Narmada Bachao Andolan and the use of CNG in Delhi. Media influences policy agenda setting, with examples such as the Jan Lokpal Bill and Black Lives Matter movements. Legal cases like the Nirbhay rape case see media pressure leading to reforms in the Juvenile Justice Act. Media campaigns on gun control affect public opinion and lawmakers' decisions. Global issues, such as the Rohingya crisis, gain attention through the media, leading to international pressure for legal action. Like Edward Snowden's NSA disclosures, whistleblower revelations drive public debates and calls for legal reforms. Media trials, as seen in the Sushant Singh Rajput case, are criticized for sensationalism and interference in investigations. Through movements like #MAJDM and #ClimateStrike, social media raises awareness about legal issues and contributes to policy discussions. These examples illustrate how mediatization shapes the legal landscape, influencing public perceptions, legal proceedings, and ethical considerations. The intersection of media and the legal system brings both positive and challenging consequences for the administration of justice. 2.7.4 Culture. Mediatization profoundly shapes culture, influencing perception, creation, and engagement. Key aspects include cultural exchange through films, music, and literature. Fostering cross-cultural understanding. Mediatization contributes to cultural homogenization, exemplified by the global influence of Western fashion and lifestyle. Portrayed in digital forms. Cultural appropriation and fusion emerge through the exchange of cultural elements. As seen in fusion cuisine, the globalization of pop culture is evident in the global popularity of Hollywood films and Bollywood music. Mediatization impacts language, communication, and social media-driven cultural movements. Digital storytelling on media platforms transforms narrative structures, while virtual experiences enable the exploration of cultural events and heritage. Challenges arise from media reinforcing stereotypes, as seen in representations of ethnic or cultural groups and issues like racism. Mediatization dynamically influences culture, fostering positive exchange and presenting challenges in representation, appropriation, and identity. The examples illustrate the intricate relationship between media and culture in today's globalized world. 2.7.5 Science. Mediatization significantly impacts science, influencing how information is disseminated. Scientists communicate, and the public engages with discoveries. Public communication by scientists. Scientists interact with the media to share research and foster public understanding. For example, the media coverage of the Higgs boson discovery at CERN. Science journalism, popular science magazines and newspaper sections offer understandable explanations of scientific studies relevant to the public. Citizen science engagement. Mediatization supports citizen science projects, such as those on Zooniverse, enabling global contributions to astronomy, biology, and environmental research. Scientific outreach via social media. Scientists use social platforms for direct public engagement, democratizing access to scientific information and building online communities. Impact on funding and research priorities. Media campaigns promoting the urgency of climate change influence public perception, leading to increased funding and shaping policy agendas. Ethical debates and controversies. Media coverage amplifies debates on the ethical implications of scientific advancements, influencing public opinion and policy considerations. Example, CRISPR case discussions on gene editing technologies. Scientific misinformation challenges. Mediatization brings challenges, including the spread of misinformation on topics like vaccines and climate change, requiring active correction by scientists. Collaboration and interdisciplinary research. Media attention to topics like AI and space exploration fosters collaborations between scientists, engineers, ethicists, and policymakers. These examples showcase the diverse impact of mediatization on science, influencing communication, engagement, research, and ethical considerations. 2.7.6 Religion. Mediatization significantly shapes religion, impacting how practices, beliefs, and institutions are communicated globally. Examples include global dissemination. Megachurches and leaders use TV, radio, podcasts, and online platforms to broadcast globally, broadening the reach of religious teachings. Online religious communities. Social media platforms enable online religious communities, fostering connections, sharing experiences, and facilitating discussions. Religious education online. Mediatization influences religious education through online resources, providing access to texts, study guides, and educational materials for believers to engage with their traditions. Representation in media. Mediatization shapes religious representation in mainstream media, influencing public perceptions. An example is Ram Mandir's inauguration in Ayodhya. Digital worship. Digital technology allows virtual religious services, enabling remote participation, especially during crises like the COVID-19 pandemic. Online discourse. Online platforms facilitate religious discourse, allowing believers and non-believers to converse about beliefs, practices, and ethical considerations. Religious marketing. Religious movements use professional websites, logos, and videos for branding, appealing to potential believers with contemporary practices. 2.7.7 Education. Mediatization in education, marked by online platforms and digital tools, enhances accessibility but poses challenges. Real-life examples include MOOCs and online learning platforms. Coursera, edX, and Khan Academy offer global access to top-quality courses. Digital classrooms and e-learning systems, learning management systems like Canvas transform traditional classrooms, enabling the digital sharing of materials and discussions. Educational podcasts and webinars. TED-Ed and webinars provide insights, discussions, and strategies for various subjects. AR and VR in education. Mediatization introduces immersive experiences through AR and VR technologies, enhancing learning with simulations and virtual field trips. Educational apps and games. Duolingo for language learning and Minecraft Education Edition offer interactive virtual learning environments. Flipped classrooms and video lectures. Mediatization leads to flipped classrooms, where students review online content before class. Video lectures and multimedia enhance pre-learning resources. OER and digital textbooks. OpenStax and NCERT-free ebooks provide accessible, peer-reviewed textbooks, reducing students' financial burdens. Social media in education. Platforms like Twitter and Facebook groups connect educators, allowing them to share articles and discuss topics. While offering opportunities, mediatization in education brings challenges, including digital literacy, privacy concerns, and the need for effective pedagogical strategies. 2.7.8 Popular culture and art. Mediatization profoundly impacts popular culture and art, shaping their creation, distribution, and consumption. Key points include globalization and cross-cultural exchange. Mediatization enables global cultural influences, fostering cross-cultural fertilization and the emergence of hybrid expressions. In art, influence on artistic expression. Artists, aware of their role in a mediatic system, use various forms: painting, sculpture, digital art, considering how medium choice contributes to the message. A contemporary artist reflecting on digital media through their work is an example. Integration of technology. Artists incorporate digital technologies, giving rise to new forms of expression like media art, interactive installations, and digital storytelling. Example: evolution of live and mediated musical performances challenging traditional authenticity perceptions. Digital platforms revolutionize popular culture and art distribution, enhancing global accessibility. Mediatization involves commercialization, impacting artistic processes. Media representation of popular culture influences societal norms. Social media provides immediate feedback, impacting artists' development and fostering a dynamic, creative process. 2.7.9 Sports. Video gaming culture and esports. Mediatization has transformed gaming from a niche subculture to a global phenomenon, with professional gamers becoming celebrities. This has influenced social perceptions of gaming and contributed to its acceptance as a legitimate form of entertainment. The growth of esports, competitive video gaming, has turned gaming into a mainstream form of entertainment. Tournaments are broadcast on platforms like Twitch, attracting large audiences. 2.7.10 Commerce. Corporate media can make or break the reputation of an organization. Embracing digital channels, social media, and data-driven strategies has become essential for businesses to stay competitive, connect with their audience, and adapt to the evolving landscape of the mediatized business environment. Consumer behavior and advertising. The mediatization of advertising and public relations profoundly affects consumer behavior and the company's growth. Advertisements on various media platforms, including television, social media, and online content, can shape preferences, influence purchasing decisions, and contribute to the creation of consumer culture. Public relations can even save a company from crisis. Toyota recall crisis. 2009-2010, Samsung Galaxy Note 7 recall, 2016. In both cases, the company communicated openly about the issue, apologized to consumers, implemented new safety measures in their product development and recalled their product. This transparent communication strategy helped the company mitigate long-term damage to web presence and branding. A strong online presence, including a well-designed website, contributes to a company's branding efforts. Businesses invest in creating visually appealing and user-friendly websites to showcase products, services, and brand identity. Digital storefronts. The rise of e-commerce platforms and online marketplaces has transformed how businesses sell products and services. Companies establish digital storefronts, which reach global audiences and enable transactions 24/7. Brand promotion. Social media platforms have become powerful tools for promoting brands, engaging customers, and managing reputations. Content marketing and information dissemination. Businesses use content marketing to provide valuable information, establish expertise, and attract potential customers. Blogs, articles, videos, and other forms of content engage and educate the audience. Data-driven decision-making. Businesses use data analytics to gather insights into consumer behavior, preferences, and market trends. This information guides strategic decision-making in product development, marketing strategies, and customer relationship management. Online customer service, influencer marketing, online reviews, and reputation management. E-commerce and digital transactions through digital payment systems are other examples of mediatization in the commerce sector. 2. 8 advantages of mediatization. In today's digital landscape, the ease of access to diverse information across the globe has transformed the way we perceive and interact with the world. This accessibility has facilitated rapid dissemination of ideas and knowledge, fostering global communication and collaboration. Moreover, it has opened unprecedented educational opportunities, granting individuals enhanced access to digital learning resources and enabling lifelong learning. Alongside educational benefits, the digital realm has played a pivotal role in shaping political awareness and participation, empowering citizens with informed engagement and facilitating civic involvement. Furthermore, the proliferation of digital platforms has provided a vast array of entertainment options, catering to diverse tastes and cultures, while also optimizing social interaction by streamlining connections and communication channels. Simultaneously, the digital sphere has catalyzed economic growth through the expansion of digital economies, nurturing e-commerce platforms and fostering global collaborations. Social networking platforms have strengthened social ties and facilitated the formation of online communities, while also enabling rapid crisis management through the quick dissemination of information during emergencies. The democratization of media through citizen journalism has empowered individuals to actively participate in shaping public discourse, contributing diverse perspectives, and fostering innovation. Moreover, the continuous evolution of new media technologies has spurred cultural exchange, production, and creativity on a global scale, serving as a platform for the expression and celebration of diverse cultural identities. Additionally, the ability for individuals to exert control over the flow of information in media interactions has emerged as a critical aspect, emphasizing the importance of understanding and navigating digital spaces responsibly. While acknowledging these advantages, addressing associated drawbacks is crucial for responsible and beneficial mediatization. 2.9 Disadvantages of mediatization. Loss of privacy. Constant media presence, especially on social platforms, exposes personal information without explicit consent. Erosion of critical thinking, exposure to biased or sensationalized content may diminish critical thinking skills, fostering acceptance without scrutiny. Erosion of critical thinking, exposure to biased or sensationalized content may diminish critical thinking skills, fostering acceptance without scrutiny. Social isolation, while enabling global connections, excessive digital reliance can lead to social isolation, which can impact mental health. Media manipulation, mediatization can be accompanied by manipulative narratives controlled by entities for their interests. Normalization of superficial values, media emphasis on superficial values normalizes certain standards, impacting societal pressures and individual well-being. Reduced face-to-face interaction, excessive digital communication reduces face-to-face interactions, potentially affecting social skills and relationship depth. Recognizing these drawbacks is essential for addressing challenges and mitigating negative impacts, while maximizing positive contributions. Understanding these disadvantages is crucial for individuals, policymakers, and society to address the challenges of mediatization and mitigate its negative effects while maximizing its positive contributions. 2.10 Issues of contention. While mediatization can bring about positive changes, it also raises several issues of contention. As per Brown, mediatization collapses ontological divisions, blurring distinctions between fact and fiction, nature and culture, global and local. Baudrillard says that media create simulacra, representations of reality that seem more real than physical and social reality, thus creating confusion and hyper-reality. So, mediatization brings concerns to privacy and cybersecurity. Increased digital footprint raises identity theft and hacking concerns, demanding a focus on cybersecurity and ethical tech use. Commercialization of news, reliance on advertising revenue may prioritize sensational content over substantive news, impacting journalistic quality. Media literacy challenge, manipulation, biased reporting, and filter bubbles challenge media literacy, impacting democratic processes in fostering polarization. Disinformation and fake news, digital platforms facilitate the rapid spread of false narratives, making it difficult to distinguish reliable sources. Hyperconnectivity and information overload, constant information flow, can lead to confusion, anxiety, and a lack of critical thinking. Cultural homogenization, global media dominance may overshadow local cultures, impacting diversity and identity. Digital divide, unequal access to media and technology contributes to social disparities and limits opportunities. Ethical challenges, mediatization raises ethical questions about technology use, privacy, and the media's role in shaping public discourse. Balancing benefits with ethical safeguards requires a comprehensive approach involving media literacy, regulation, and ongoing public discourse. 2.11 Global changes and ongoing transformations. Mediatization has brought about many global changes and ongoing transformations across society. Tomlinson discusses how media, particularly the internet and satellite TV, have contributed to globalization by the territorialization cultural experiences and social interactions. Media products and communication flow across national boundaries, creating a globalized context. Though most of these trends and changes have been discussed in this chapter under various subtopics, so we are just reiterating their headings to put them under one umbrella category of global changes. Information access and dissemination, communication and connectivity, cultural influence and globalization, political engagement and activism, economic shifts and e-commerce, education and e-learning, media consumption habits, employment landscape, change in media industry dynamics with digital disruption, transformation in social dynamics and online communities. These ongoing trends and transformations highlight the complex interplay between mediatization and various aspects of global society. They influence how individuals, communities, and institutions interact and evolve in the digital age, underscoring the importance of addressing emerging challenges and ensuring responsible and ethical use of media technologies. 2.12 Summary. In this unit, we discussed media integration into society, known as mediatization. It has brought about a complex interplay of advantages and disadvantages in Contemporary life. On the one hand, it has facilitated widespread information access, global communication, and educational opportunities, contributing to economic growth and fostering cultural exchange. On the other hand, it posed challenges as well. Privacy and cybersecurity concerns have grown with increased digital presence. Commercialization of news and sensationalism may compromise journalistic quality, while media literacy challenges impact democratic processes. Disinformation, fake news, and the potential for information overload threaten critical thinking. Cultural homogenization, the digital divide, and ethical dilemmas regarding technology use further underscore the need for a balanced approach. To navigate these challenges, society must prioritize media literacy, enact regulatory measures, and engage in ongoing public discourse. This balanced approach aims to harness the positive aspects of mediatization while mitigating its potential negative consequences, fostering a responsible and beneficial integration of media into the fabric of modern life. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.